Close the curtains, stock up on snacks, and put your phone on silent. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 British shows to binge watch. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, please subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be focusing on those massively popular must-see shows which are either made in Britain, feature a predominantly British cast and crew, or focus primarily on British life. And just to be clear, we're trying to keep things within the realm of realistic binge-watching goals, so we're excluding any exceptionally long-running shows such as Doctor Who. Number 10, Peep Show.
And you've got weird nuts.
What? How did you?
If you get a thrill from being plonked into awkward situations, then Peep Show is an absolute must-watch. Letting you literally see through the eyes of dysfunctional yet lovable characters who are bursting with comic reactions to relatable issues, it's the show that put David Mitchell and Robert Webb on the map.
What a bastard. Destroys my perfect love just because it's built on lies.
Whether they're trying to wean a friend off crack or they're inadvertently eating a dog, you can always rely on these two to be completely inappropriate and utterly brilliant.
Great. Now I'm getting an angry lap dance. Brilliant.
Number 9, Lovesick.
You've tested positive for chlamydia.
That doesn't sound positive.
You'll need to contact your previous sexual partners.
All of them?
No, just the ones you like.
An edgy, light-hearted romantic sitcom about chlamydia? Following a young guy who's told he has the STI and must contact his former sexual partners, the majority of the show is told through flashbacks of protagonist Dylan, played by actor and musician Johnny Flynn. Although its subject matter may be a little different, it's still an awesome off-kilter comedy that's never afraid to make light of difficult situations. The fact that the series was formerly known as Scrotal Recall speaks volumes.
Good luck, Dylan.
The Vicar!
Number 8, The Fall.
The killer is out there somewhere, and we have nothing at all.
Unlike formulaic detective dramas built around the quest to uncover a killer, The Fall is a little different, because we know who the murderer is from the get-go. However, it's not as easy as condemning the murderer and rooting for the hero, as this series challenges us to decide who to sympathise with.
Thank you, Daddy.
Okay.
Featuring a flurry of great performances from the likes of Gillian Anderson and Jamie Dornan, it's got plenty of twists and turns and keeps us guessing until the very end.
You'd think that gives us the advantage, but it doesn't.
Number 7, The Office.
Put my stapler inside a jelly again. That's the third time he's done it. It wasn't even funny the first time.
A TV show that focuses specifically on the mundanity and uneventful routine of an everyday office. It may not sound funny, but in the hands of Ricky Gervais, it's comedy gold.
A good idea is a good idea forever.
Yeah.
Honing in on the inadequacy of middle management at the expense of hapless boss David Brent, it's endlessly quotable, agonizingly awkward, and ridiculously relatable. Think you're the only one having to put up with a monotonous daily grind, or a boss who's always trying to crack a joke? Guess again. Number 6, Luther.
She did it. She did it.
Many of our favourite heroes have gaping flaws in their character, and DCI John Luther has more than most. Expertly played by Idris Elba, and said to have been inspired by both Sherlock Holmes and Columbo, he's a brilliant, unrelenting detective that puts himself on the front line to fight crime. That is, when he's not tackling his own demons.
Why are you here?
I just needed a place to think.
A gritty series that's just as much about solving mysteries as it is about the fragile psyche of those that crack them. It's definitely not your average crime drama.
Help you? Yeah. You shut up.
Number 5, The Crown.
Till death us do part.
Till death us do part.
Ever been curious about the innermost workings of the royal family and exactly what responsibilities the Queen has? Get a load of The Crown. Chronicling the life of Queen Elizabeth II, from as far back as her wedding to Prince Philip in 1947, the series stars Claire Foy as the young royal and follows her through the ups and downs of her early reign, through historic milestones and controversy. Characterised by its grand appeal, excellent cast, and beautiful cinematography, it's like Downton Abbey, but taken up a notch.
The fact is, the crown must win.
Number 4, Peaky Blinders.
In all the world, the only thing that interests me
is the truth.
Based on the eponymous real-life Birmingham gang, this series has got all the trademarks of a gangster epic: guns, murder, gambling, and complex allegiances, but it offers its own unique style.
And what do I get in return?
I have what you're looking for.
Starring the likes of Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy, and Helen McCroy, it serves up terrifying villains, tense showdowns, and plenty of engrossing dialogue. For those who like period dramas but enjoy the dark and dingy feel of something slightly more violent, look no further.
I thought after your beating I thought you needed a break.
What bloody gods, Tommy?
Number 3, Black Mirror.
It's a decoy. They must have bounced the upload from here with a proxy. They could be anywhere.
If you consider yourself a bit of a technophobe, or you're a little cynical when it comes to mass media, then you'll feel right at home with this. Pulling apart the culture, expectation, and attitudes towards current and future issues, such as social media infatuation and reality TV shows, Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror is insightful, controversial, and more often than not, on the money.
Resume viewing. Resume viewing. Resume viewing. Resume viewing. Resume viewing.
Although common themes feature throughout the series, each episode is completely different and unrelated, making for a new experience each time you click play. Number 2, Broadchurch.
Most people have a moral compass.
Compasses break. And murder gnaws at the soul.
Prefer hard-hitting over uplifting? Well, be careful what you wish for, because Broadchurch offers no reprieve. Set against the backdrop of a close-knit coastal town, it stars David Tennant and Olivia Colman as two police officers who initially set out to solve a murder of an 11-year-old boy.
Come near my family again, and I'll break your face.
It's not what you'd call polished, and it's not quite gritty, it's somewhere in between, as both frighteningly realistic and relentlessly bleak. Nevertheless, if you're after a gripping series and you don't mind morbid themes, then give Broadchurch a watch.
We don't want the name Broadchurch to be a byword for murder like Sandbrook.
Number 1, Sherlock.
Brilliant! Yes! 4 serial suicides and now a note. It's Christmas.
A modern take on Conan Doyle's world-famous detective, the Sherlock series swaps the horse and carriage for black cabs and old-school powers of deduction for newfangled gadgets.
You can't actually believe that you saw some kind of monster.
No, I can't believe that. I did see it, so the question is, how?
Regardless of whether Sherlock tracks someone down on foot or by GPS, Benedict Cumberbatch still manages to play the detective with the brilliant yet socially inept traits we've come to love, with Martin Freeman's Dr. Watson chiming in as the voice of reason.
What? Me, Sherlock, in court on Tuesday. They're giving me an ASBO.
Superbly written, one of the best things about Sherlock is its long episodes and individual yet intertwined plot lines.
Who hunts in the middle of a crowd? I don't know, who? Haven't the faintest.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and subscribe for more great content.